We identified previously 3 types of vocabulary. The most common is general vocabulary, which is found in all sorts of English texts, from the most informal tweet to the most prestigious academic article. Academic vocabulary, on the other hand, is more frequently found in scholarly contexts, where the main goal is the production and dissemination of knowledge. Academic words are those that are used in texts from all disciplines. The third type is technical vocabulary, which are words specific to particular disciplines, such as mitosis, leukocyte, or intravenous in the health sciences. One way of improving your academic style is to identify these different types of vocabulary in the text you read in your units of study and try to replicate these patterns in your own writing. In this video, I'll show you 3 online tools that can help you with this task. We'll compare the text about creatine from the first video, the sports magazine, the article from the conversation, and a research article. We'll start with the vocabulary analysis tool from the University of Lancaster. What this tool does is count how many words from a text belong in the General Service List, a list of the 2,500 most frequent English words. Compare the sports magazine text and the journal article. So we copy and paste the first text here and click on Analyze Text Now. You can see that over 80% of the words in the text are among the most frequent words in English. This is not surprising. Most contemporary English texts, regardless of their purpose and origin, will be around this mark. The interesting figure comes from comparing the percentage in the top 500 words. In this case, it's over 60%. This list contains many of the short words we mentioned before, like think, this, but, do, and lot. But it also contains some academic vocabulary, like however, research, or increase. These words are fairly frequent in all kinds of text, but at least twice as frequent in academic texts. The figure to remember is 63% of the top 500 most frequent words. Now let's compare it to the results of the journal text. You can see here that the percentage of words on the GSL list is not too different from that of the online magazine. Both are around the 80% mark. But if we look at the top 500, we see that it has gone down from 63 to 46%, and that is a statistically significant difference. Another option is to use a readability test tool. These measure how many years of education are needed to understand a text. The fewer years needed, the more readable the text is. This is one of the many sites available online. Like with the GSL tool, we simply copy and paste the text here. Let's use the text from the conversation this time. This text requires 14 years of education to be properly understood. That is 13 years of primary and secondary education and 1 year of college. To obtain this figure, they measure sentence and word length. The longer the words and the sentences, the more difficult the text is to understand. Let's focus on vocabulary now. Nearly 23% of the words in this excerpt are complex. That is, they have 6 characters or 3 syllables or more. Remember, academic texts favor longer words. For university assignments, you should probably aim for a score of 17 years of education. If you score lower, you might want to check if your words are appropriate for an academic context. If your score is too high, you might be using commas instead of full stops, which makes your sentences longer. The last tool measures the actual academic and technical vocabulary in texts. We're using the text from the conversation again. The words highlighted in yellow and green are academic vocabulary common to all disciplines. So it totals 23% between the top 500 most frequent academic words and the rest. To identify the technical vocabulary, we select a specific discipline. The closest one in this case is medicine. Notice that academic vocabulary doubles the percentage of technical language. This graph summarizes results for the 3 texts. So the sports magazine contains more general vocabulary and fewer complex academic and technical terms. The opposite is true for the journal article. How can you use these tools? You can analyze the text in your discipline and compare them to your own writing so you can adjust it to match the examples. Academic texts contain a higher percentage of complex words. those with 3 or more syllables or 6 or more characters, words from Latin and Greek origin, words from the academic vocabulary list, and technical terms. You should be cautious about the percentage of general vocabulary, as identified in the General Service List, the use of short words, 1 syllable or 3 letters, and as a rule of thumb, you should avoid the use of contractions such as won't or gonna, colloquial expressions, and internet acronyms.